So today I want to talk to you guys about the First Amendment. And this goes way beyond political, I've noticed lately. Yeah, it started, at least the most recent incident, with a political candidate being permanently banned on one account on Twitter. He's back. He has a new one. By the way, it's Brenden Dilley, the author and life coach that I made a video about on this channel before, so if any of you guys are interested, all of his information will be in the description box. But it got me thinking. The First Amendment can be taken away from ourselves by ourselves. How many times do you not allow yourself to say something or to even think something because it might offend somebody, because you feel bad, because of whatever reason, and then you let it seep into your own head? I'm guilty of it too. I've decided to put myself first more and open my mouth when I feel like I need to, in a respectful way, as much as I can, anyway. But it's already deep. Forget about this argument about the Second Amendment. If we don't allow ourselves to have an opinion or to have a feeling in our own circles, let alone on the internet, what kind of life is that? That's a codependent life, which is something that I've talked a lot about on here because my brother was an addict. I know all about codependency, and it's not just in a relationship of a person who loves an addict. It's in a whole plethora of relationships. I'll go even as far as saying it's very easy for somebody who's disabled to become codependent because you always convince yourself that you need somebody for something. This is why I strive to be as independent as I can, not pushing anybody away, but not falling into a dynamic where I rely so much on somebody that it doesn't matter how I'm treated. I'm just so attached to them that it's unhealthy, because it then convinces you that you need to stay around them. I've talked to a lot of people who, in their own friendships even, and I just pointed this out recently about the show Little Women LA, they try so hard to keep a friendship because they're all little people. Well, if the person is toxic for you and won't allow you to be your own person, First Amendment, why are you around them? You have to really ask yourself. There's some situations where people are more inclined to and more okay with watering down certain things that they want to say. But when it gets to that point where you're censoring how you feel so much that you won't ever open your mouth, that's dangerous. And that's exactly what taking away the First Amendment on the larger scale is already doing to a lot of people. Oh, I can't talk politics with that person, or if I say that, this person's gonna get upset. That's a number one dysfunction in a relationship with somebody who has an addiction. Oh, you don't want to upset them and set them off. Well, maybe they need to hear it. And I'm not saying that people haven't said things that maybe shouldn't have been said and they apologize and take it back. It's just, you know, you should be able to express how you feel. And don't even get me started on social media, because it's like, you're not even allowed to have an opinion. It's like, you'll get a laundry list from people of why you're wrong. No, it's an opinion. I'm not wrong for how I feel. You want to have an open discussion about why you feel the way you feel? Sure. But you better be sure that if you're on my social media, you're interacting with me in other ways as a friend, as opposed to just attacking me for how I feel about something you disagree with. Delete those people. Just FYI. You'll feel better. But yeah, it's funny to me how much bigger it becomes when it starts with, I guess, social issues, you would say, and how easily that bleeds into our Constitution now. People can march for whatever they want to march for. Side note, I've never even marched for disabilities. That's just me. My choice. But don't march to A, silence somebody, and B, close yourself off to any other solution that may actually work. That's like that saying, trying to hammer a circular into a square, or whatever the saying is. You know what I'm talking about. If you want a real solution to the problem, be open to hearing other solutions that just might work. But you won't even discuss anything anymore. There's no freedom of speech unless you decide that there is. Because you're basically letting people shut you up. And I'm not saying that people have to be as open and in detail politically or any other subject as some other people, but don't let anybody make you feel guilty or ashamed for your opinions. You have legitimate reasons. I'll even go as far as saying that most normal people that don't make TV on the left are normal, average Americans who have good points and reasons for believing the way that they believe. I don't have to agree, and that's the problem. You have to agree with certain people. If you take the unreasonable emotions out of it, we would get somewhere. And if you actually expressed your emotions in a healthier way, instead of anger and attack, and, oh, I feel this way, so you have to agree. Yeah, no, you can feel the way the way you want to feel. I don't care, but just understand that doesn't mean everybody has to agree. And not agreeing isn't discounting how you feel. It doesn't all of a sudden make somebody a racist, bigot, homophobic, hater, whatever you want to call it, just because they don't agree. You don't know what has affected somebody's life that has led them to either vote the way that they vote, think the way that they think. And I'm not saying that we can't learn and grow from each other, but forcing it is not going to work. Forcing it is just going to make somebody cower into their corner, and I'll use the quote, clutching onto their guns and their Bibles, and pushing you away and not even wanting to hear what you have to say. We need to be able to have discussions again. We do. That is the only way to make change. The government isn't everything. I'm not saying to go overthrow the government tomorrow, by the way. I'm just saying it starts at home. The way to really stop, I'm going into a whole tangent in this video, I realize that, but the way to stop the suicide epidemic or the mass shootings, talk to each other. Don't talk at each other. Have relationships, friendships again. Don't discount an opinion that you disagree with just because you disagree with it. There's plenty of people who I disagree with, but I won't go to their page or just interject into their conversations and attack them for it. Like, yeah, I've joked with people, oh, I'm not listening to you, if they start off with, like, something about a president that I don't like, but I'll listen. I just won't agree if I don't. Having an argument until the person agrees with you is useless because they often won't. Years down the line, something might happen in their personal life that might change their mind, or in their town, or to somebody that they know. But you go in that voting booth alone. I've said it in videos plenty of times. You go in voting booths alone, you, despite who your family is, who your friends are, what relationship you're in, you are still your own person. And you're allowed to your own thoughts and feelings. And I think a lot of people forgot that. And we need to get that back. Because I think it would actually be what bridges a lot of gaps. So that's what I wanted to say. The periscope this morning really made me think that Brenden Dilley did. And I'm not one that is ashamed of really anything that I think and feel. But there have been times where I'm like, I'm not even gonna reply to that, or I'm not even gonna discuss that with somebody. So it's a good reminder. I mean, if you look at my Facebook page, it's like one person in liberal city, and then eventually my conservative and Republican friends, they'll, get in on the conversation. But I grew up in New York. It's very liberal. But I've pretty much always leaned Republican. And I know I said that this wasn't a completely political video, but it also has had a good effect on my personal life, because I have spoken up more. I have figured out that you don't have to accept certain things to love people. You don't have to agree with certain things to love people. Embracing individuality is something that I'm extremely passionate about, and I think everybody who's followed me for any amount of time knows that. And it's not in spite of, it's because of my disability. I don't like how so many people, I don't even like how it's called a disabled community. You're just another person. It just happens to be how you get around. So embracing your individuality and expressing how you feel is extremely important to me. And it always has been, but it kind of, life happens, certain things happen, and it's nice to actually get back to that. So I hope this helped somebody. Subscribe to this channel if you like this video. I have all of my social media in the description box. If you do want to work with me one-on-one, I will have my website in the description box. Side note, it may look initially, because I know a lot of people get confused, it may look initially like I only work with people with disabilities, but I personally believe that paralysis is not just physical. That is actually the least form of paralysis that can stop you, because you can always use something else besides your legs to get from point A to point B. So that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.